Donnie Ray, and this is the PRIV Talks podcast. Join me and my team as we pull back the curtain on work, life, family, friendship, leadership, entrepreneurship, and everything in between. We hope these conversations will inspire you, make you feel connected, and bring you a laugh. Welcome back.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hi,
Still
guys.
here.
Everybody's here today. Karen, Zai, Katie, me.
A meter apart.
Yeah, exactly.
No kissing today.
We use the meter stick.
I hope nobody licks my face today.
Well, that's a good goal.
That's just a Monday thing that
That's an
sometimes
everyday
happens.
thing, I think. I want
Okay,
to,
who
like-
licked your face yesterday?
Not naming names, but it wasn't my fiance.
Oh my God.
It was a female. I don't know if this is making it any better right now.
Your life is something much more fun than mine.
Yeah.
I'm sure some kid licked your face yesterday, probably.
Oh yeah, you can't quarantine yourself from your kids. They're like all over me. I feel like I get no personal space.
Has Elliot stopped eating boogers yet?
She told me she likes to.
She's honest.
Yeah, I said, don't put that in your mouth. She goes, but I want to.
We told our kids that it would like get a huge ball in their stomach and they'd have to get surgery. Is that terrible?
Ew, a booger ball?
I don't know. Whatever it was, it sounded like something that would make them stop.
I feel like this whole coronavirus thing, though, is totally in your nose. Like, that's the worst thing you could probably do is pick your nose.
So
I need it.
I had a conversation with Kevin yesterday. We were talking about like the masks and people traveling with it, because I've talked to people who work in hospitals. Like, first of all, the masks only work for like 20 minutes. And it's more for you stopping, like if you are contagious, spreading it. But I was thinking, if we put masks on our kids, they'd stop putting their fingers in their mouth. Right? So we should mask all of our children.
Duct tape or a mask? Because I feel like Tristan could still get around it.
Maybe if your kid can't get around a mask to pick their nose, there's bigger issues.
Well, I wasn't worried about the nose. I was worried about the hands and the mouth.
I was just like,
Tristan's
because
always biting on his fingers or doing something.
it's habit, right? And
I touched my face 12 times in the last minute. I swear.
I watched the movie Contagion. Well, I watched 2/3 of it last night, and what's the stat they say in the movie, that the average person touches their face 2,000 to 3,000 times a day?
stop it.
No, there's
2,000
no
to
way.
3,000 times a day. They said it's like 10 to 15 times a minute.
Did Matt Damon say it in the movie?
No, it wasn't Matt Damon. It was,
I would believe it if it was Matt Damon.
I think it was, what's her name? Kate Winslet.
Oh, then it's true.
I for sure don't touch my face that many times.
No, 3,000 times is egregious.
I'm probably like 4,000 to 5,000.
Ryan is more. Ryan's probably 10,000.
Yeah.
He just sits like this.
I
But
know,
does that
I'm
count
a
as one
face
long
toucher.
touch if you just rest your face in your hand, or is it like
No,
every
that's one.
second is a touch?
Every second is one touch.
Oh, well, then maybe I touch my face a couple
I don't know. I
thousand
made that
times.
up. I gotta ask Kate Winslet.
I shake my head and my hands a lot, so.
I just had a thought that totally just like went.
Boss or bust?
Yeah. My boss is that I feel like I've been like a little cooking guru at
I've
home.
seen that on your Insta
I
story. I was
saw.
like, who is this lady? And
Well,
why
I
is she
feel
not
like
making me pudding?
You have to. Okay. Well, first of all, the kids are home, right? And everybody's quarantined, so it's just forced. Getting ready, like at the grocery store and stocking up in a non-selfish way, like some people are doing, and selling their goods, which is so mean. But I'm fully stocked at home, so that means there's like no excuse to DoorDash or skip the dishes, and I'm having to cook and prep food constantly. I'm a pretty good cook,
You are a very good cook, actually.
so I'm like kind of nurturing it.
I will confirm that.
I had a lot of comments on my chia chocolate pudding yesterday, which actually was a podcast conversation from Leah,
It
like
was.
way back ago. But it was a hit. Elliot had like 3 of those yesterday.
Well, that rolls right into my bust, because I haven't really taken this seriously. And so I haven't grocery shopped or anything. But I always think too, like there's 10 people that live in my house. So if I grocery shop for quarantine, they're still going to eat it in a week. No matter how
That's a
much I
problem.
buy, they eat.
You
Why
need an
can't you
underground
hide it?
bunker.
Yeah.
I'm going to start hiding food under my bed. But so on, what day was that? Saturday, I ordered 10 pizzas to the house. And we still have 4 pizzas left. So I've just frozen them. I'm like, we're going to live off pizza.
Reheated, microwaved, frozen pizza.
Yeah.
I ate some of that pizza on Sunday.
I wouldn't be mad about that.
It was good.
It was really good. It's still good. I've eaten it 3 days in a row.
I'm not gonna lie, I took a piece home and it's in my fridge right now. Times are tough, you guys. Like, you gotta be resourceful.
I am going to take a bust because we spent $1,000 on groceries and we only got 1 pack of toilet paper, but like we just loaded our freezer.
But that's fine. I mean, 1 pack of toilet paper, which is like 12 rolls.
Like the big one. Like Ryan went to Costco.
Like, does your house go through more than 1 roll a day?
Probably.
Are you serious?
Probably not.
So it's
My
probably a
house
month's
does.
worth of toilet paper.
Yeah.
Like, everyone freaking out about toilet paper. I
I don't understand the toilet paper.
I don't think
There
it's
was a
an issue.
rumor that they were going to stop manufacturing it in Australia and China, so everyone bought up what they thought was the last of it.
Scotty tissue paper or toilet paper is
all
made in Canada.
All the way to the bank.
There's a place in New West that makes toilet paper. So
We're not
How
going
about-
to run. This is an announcement. We're not going to run out of toilet paper.
I am actually like tomorrow.
Okay.
I got you 12 rolls the other day.
Oh, it's here. Can I take the work stuff home?
Yeah, I bought that for you.
Perfect.
Aw.
I now have bamboo toilet paper.
Okay, so my bust is that since buying all this delicious food and freezing it and making all these dinner plans, I've had popcorn for dinner 2 nights in a row.
I had popcorn for dinner.
It's too many options for me. I did cook a tray of chicken breast last night and then ate 1 bite dipped in peri peri sauce from Nando's.
I love that peri peri sauce.
so good.
Drink it.
I bought a big bag of kernels a week ago and they're gone.
I'm just working on the Boom Chicka Pop from Costco, the yellow bag. Yeah, I just put it in a bowl. Ryan's like, "Are you going to eat dinner?" And I'm like, "I am eating dinner," and I had a glass of wine and I felt like it's got some antioxidants.
Stop being so judgmental, Ryan.
Yeah, I'm getting antioxidants from all my nutrition's coming from the wine.
See, I get like the what's for dinner question. Not like, are you going to eat dinner? It's like, what time are you having dinner? Oh, that means me. Okay.
Ryan doesn't cook. He can cook breakfast, but I made the kids dinner. They had fruit and like ground turkey and vegetables.
No, very healthy.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Is that classed as like a fruit salad?
No, it was all separate. My kids don't like if anything touches. So like the ground turkey was here. Kiana had it with 4 pounds of ketchup. Then the fruit was here, and then the vegetables were here. Like nothing touches.
Well, that's always good. Had it for 5 years. I can go for my N whenever I feel confident.
Look at you.
I know. Winning.
Unstoppable.
Totally. Except that I might be fully stopped and in my house for a while. So.
What
Oh
great
well,
timing.
my timing's impeccable. What
You
I
can
do?
we can social distance together in the car.
So you can drop your car off for me.
She's in the
You can sit in the back. It's perfect, actually.
I'll have Ryan come do it. Ryan never gets sick. So Ryan's immune to all things.
Perfect.
He's been sick once in 12 years.
I can. No, never mind. I won't say that.
So you guys can practice driving around the neighborhood. There'll be nobody out. It'll be perfect.
That's great.
Just watch out for
us.
parked cars.
maybe get out of Clayton. There's a lot of parked
A
cars.
lot of
Yeah.
It's like just the mirrors. I'm just afraid that I'll knock everyone's mirror off down the street.
It's a valid fear.
Yep.
My feet did that accidentally once.
What?
Do you use your feet as mirrors when you drive?
I may have
Okay.
kicked side mirrors off someone I was really mad at.
Oh, did they deserve it?
Yeah.
Perfect.
And also deserved to get their shrubs ripped out of their house.
A job well done.
Sorry, they're shrubs.
There was a girl in high school that my boyfriend cheated on me with her, and we were at a party, and I keyed the whole side of her car.
Ooh, that's
Yeah.
so
And it was so out of character for me. And then she started yelling at me, and then I threw my keys in her face and then realized those were my keys that I needed to drive my
That's
car.
usually my fighting approach too. Like I won't hit or punch because I'm not very strong. But I'll just throw whatever's in my hand at their face.
Yeah. It was
And then-
really
or on the ground and then cry.
it was the
Or-
closest I've ever been to to being in a fight.
Or wait till they walk away and punch them in the back.
That is another
You
thing.
did that a couple times to me.
So glad you don't get mad at me at work, honestly.
I would just turn around full rage. She'd torque it. Her legs are so long, she beat me.
Oh God. Okay, what's your current obsession, Katie?
So the Glow Minerals released a new mask. I don't know if I've told you guys
What
even
the heck? Why
personally.
don't you tell me about it?
So I ordered it. It's a charcoal detox mask. So I usually don't do detox masks. I have really dry skin. So I was kind of hesitant about this one, but I was like, I'm just going to try it anyways because I'm such a facial junkie. And it's actually like detoxifying, but also exfoliating. So there's like jojoba beads in it. And
I'm so shocked you just said that word properly.
you thought I was going to say jojobo?
Yeah.
So it like renews your skin. I felt refreshed after. I didn't feel dry. It was great. My 9-year-old daughter has a problem already with like nose congestion, like congestion in her pores on her nose. And I used it on her and it cleared it up right away because you like put it on, let it dry for 10 to 20 minutes, then wet your hands a little bit and rub the beads around for exfoliate. And it's really good.
I feel like Katie knows a good mask.
Yeah.
Did you like that mask I gave you?
Ooh, it was actually probably one of my favorites.
Because
Can I have
that's
some
going to
more?
be my current obsession today. I haven't talked about it on the podcast at all because we hadn't been airing this, but I started working with this up-and-coming skincare company, and I've been helping with branding and product development, and so we are at the stage where we have formulations, and obviously I get to try all of them, and we have this mask that is incredible, but it's not what you're describing.
No, it
it's
has
more of almost a peel.
Yeah, it has AHA properties, so it's more exfoliating.
It feels like it burns your face literally off. It's very active.
Okay.
Very active, but it works, and it leaves you exfoliated. Like you'll actually shed skin in the upcoming days, which is so nice.
But not
you're
like full peel, but just like flaky.
What's amazing about it is that it hydrates you as well. So you're not left dry at all. Like you're totally immediately after. You could use it in the morning. You shouldn't use it in the morning because of sunlight, although if you're under quarantine and you're stuck in your house, go and use it all day long.
Yeah.
But you are actually glowing after the mask. So I'm going to use that as my current obsession. But
I would like some more of it, please. You gave me literally one.
I have a little bit more I could give you.
Tiny
but I only have
sample.
limited supply, and we're not launching until June, so it's
Your skin's looking really good lately, actually.
you.
It cleared up from your hormones or something.
well,
do you think?
I am still not drinking coffee. So I feel like that has been a big part in my skin. Like my skin, when I quit drinking coffee, I
You
feel
also got pregnant.
I know I did, but it cleared up within a week. Like, and it's bizarre because I had breakouts during my other pregnancies. Like my skin wasn't good during my pregnancies. And I have had every time I have decaf, I do get like a pimple or something.
That's crazy.
That is
So
crazy.
there's a small amount of caffeine. I was thinking we should do a podcast just about quitting coffee and what coffee does, and maybe we could have an expert who talks about liver health.
I will never be a part of that podcast.
Yeah.
Besides,
Do
I
not
refuse.
sign me up.
But I literally think it is the best thing I've done for my body was quitting coffee. And my skin I'm not saying it's great. It still has like a way to go, like in healing, but it's significantly better. The problem is I quit drinking coffee at the same time as getting pregnant, at the same time as starting to use these products that I'm working on with this company.
Well, just stay pregnant all the time. Don't drink coffee.
And keep
using the product.
Keep on the products. So,
Back-to-back babies.
but for that mask that you're talking about, we should launch that on our site.
Yeah.
We can get those because we are a Glow distributor.
Yeah, we could almost do I've pretty much tried every single product that they sell. So we could do like our fave section or something.
Why don't we do a giveaway? Why don't we get one and do a giveaway?
Yeah.
And then we can talk about it.
Yeah. I love their products.
They're so good.
I get compliments all the time on my
They're
skin.
clean.
And I'm always like, my
And they're
skin
affordable.
radically changed when I started using Glow products. And I'm not like an influencer, so I'm just saying that because it's true.
You're kind of an influencer.
I mean,
You influence
you're watching Schitt's Creek, so.
Oh shit! I am watching Schitt's Creek, and it is so funny. I'm really happy that you forced me
Does
to do it.
Dan Levy remind you of Ryan?
Not as much as Adam Levine.
It's
Lucky
more
for Ryan.
Wow.
Dan's
though,
like
right? A little bit.
mannerisms.
Like his mannerisms.
You mean mannerisms?
Mannerism?
Mannerism?
That's
Yep.
what I said.
No, you said like it
Mannerism.
manicure.
Mannerism.
Dan
Mannerism.
Levy is my spirit animal. I love him. I know exactly why you love him because I feel like you are his sense of humor, like all balled up into one. As soon as he started talking, I'm like, he's a mix of Ryan and Karen.
Yeah.
Is what I
I
thought.
caught myself doing this with my hands the other day, and I was like, oh no.
He's so funny.
Do you love his man prees?
Outfits are
Can
my
we talk about that for a second? Because I know someone that thinks man prees are in.
Is his name Bevan?
It might be Bevan.
Uh-huh.
And I had to put my foot down.
Well, yeah, I think that's a fair foot down principle.
You can go below the knee, but you can't go halfway to your ankle.
I don't even think they should go below the knee.
He likes below the knee. It's fine.
Like, he's got a connection on some clothes. Like, we don't need to go below the knee anymore.
The Zainarobe shorts look good on him. The
Zainarobe shirts look good on everybody.
Yeah, Ryan has a couple pairs. I think they look, the camo ones that all look cut off.
Mm-hmm.
They were good. Remember, he was like, I'm showing my knees.
Mm-hmm. They don't see daylight very often.
He's gonna love we're talking about him.
I know.
Oh, Bevan.
He just figured out how to listen to a podcast, so this is great for me.
He told me he was starting a podcast, and I was his first guest.
Yeah, they do want to start a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said, he's like, but seriously, will you do it? I'm like, of course.
I think they should drink 12 beers each and then do it.
Yeah.
It'd be like Bob and
Talk about
Doug.
man
So
praise.
I said if we actually do get quarantined, because we live on a compound with 10 people, we're going to do a 14-day trial run compound podcast.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah. It would just never stop recording.
No, never. There would always be someone coming in to sit down.
Okay, let's get back on track, guys.
'Kay.
Karen, what's your current obsession?
Because all I do is watch TV when I'm not working, I guess. It is a show called Elite that's on Netflix. And it is like, it's Spanish and it doesn't have subtitles. They've dubbed it over. And if you can get past that, it is like better than Riverdale. It's like, it's definitely not for children's eyes, but it is so good. There's like scandal and murder and who did it, and then like couples, and anyways, it's really good, and it just released its 3rd season, and you should go watch it. It's really good.
I don't know if I can get over that whole first part that you said.
For some reason, it doesn't bother me, but it really, Ryan was like, what are you watching? And I was like, what's the show called? He's like, I could tell it's dubbed over from over here. And I was like, well, whatever. If you can get over it, or if you speak Spanish, go watch it. It's very good.
Mine's kind of like that. I got Amazon Prime.
Oh, yeah.
Because I got sick of watching seasons 9 through 16 of whatever shows they upload on there. And there's just so many more options. And I feel now like I was preparing myself without even knowing it.
Oh, that is
right?
kind of
See,
wild, yeah.
Some people call me psychic.
Have you watched Jack Ryan yet?
No, but I see it all the time.
So good. I actually have a crush on him too. John Krasinski or whatever.
Oh, yeah, me too.
He's
Yeah.
cute. Sorry, Axel. He's cute though.
He is cute, right?
Because you like the same type as, like, cute, funny.
Yeah, cute and funny. Too attractive. Like too pretty. I was like, well, they're too pretty.
Yeah.
You need a bit of roughage.
Then we found out Katie has a little thing for Justin Trudeau.
I mean,
Shocking.
only when he speaks in French, okay? It's something about people speaking French.
I take issue with this.
I'm going to take a poll today on PRIV Talks and ask who finds him attractive when he speaks French. And I guarantee you that it will be a high number that does.
I'm highly looking forward to our morning briefing tomorrow with Justin.
I mean, there's a silver lining to everything, right?
Katie set her alarm. Sorry,
I
no one
literally
call Katie.
sit in front of the TV with my hands on my knees and my eyes wide open and a smile on my face, and I say, speak more French.
Okay, let's get to our first topic, because we actually wanted to talk about, obviously in the news, there's one current event and one current event only right now, which is the COVID-19 outbreak. And we're in such limbo right now in Canada because we've been advised to stay home, but there haven't been any actual sanctions issued. And we kind of wanted to talk about, we have been talking about in the office or on our virtual calls, which is an amazing way to do meetings. And 2020 is wonderful for that, albeit many other things it isn't. But the effects that it has on our business, because I know other businesses are going through it, and that hurts my heart, that there's so many struggles and uncertainties with our economy right now.
And it changes every day. Like every day there's something new, and you try to do the responsible thing and the right thing. But I think something that people miss for small businesses especially is that there's not there's not a big contingency fund of money that you can just go pull from, and big investors, right? Like and you have employees, and I would be more impressed if the government spent more time thinking about the 50% of people who are the small business owners, the people that work in hospitality, and making some But we'll see. We'll see what they.
We'll see because he said, there will be things in place for businesses. It's so important. I mean, it's just like a domino effect, right? My heart is with people who live paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
My heart is with the employers that are completely without revenue, right? And rent still keeps going, and there's so many expenses don't stop.
I had to pay my car payment.
Yeah.
They weren't like, hey.
Insurance. I mean, I could just go through my credit card statement of things I don't know what I'm paying for and just.
Yeah, Ryan does all that.
The list is long.
Even right when we sat down to podcast, one of my clients messaged me that she has to close her business for 2 weeks because her daughter woke up with a fever. And does her daughter probably just have the flu? Yep.
Yeah.
But you have to. And also the amount of money for cleanliness. And I just think, and for her, that's her livelihood. And my heart, you're right. My heart just.
Yeah. And I feel like I just feel other people's pain too. Like I feel it on all levels. It's just watching how are people going to pay how are people going to pay their rent on the 1st?
Yeah.
If
I'm
they
hoping
don't have wages.
they suspend it or they do something. I hope what they did in Italy was they just like, no one's paying, like I don't know how they worked it out, but there's no mortgage. No one's paying rent or mortgages. And so I know that was something they talked about here. But then this is something Katie and I said, like, if they defer, you can defer your mortgage payment now, penalty free or whatever, to the end of your term. But then you're also not supposed to charge your renters rent, which makes sense. But then how do you recoup that?
Right.
So there's so many questions. Or do they?
Or do they just give a lump payment to every person?
Yeah.
In lieu of it, wasn't there when we lived in Alberta, there was something that we got. I remember one time we got a check. Every single Alberta citizen got a check for something. It was like $500 or something like that.
I don't remember that.
Maybe you were too young.
Oh, I do. It was. Did we live there at the same time? No.
Maybe.
I was 90.
It was a $700 check. It was something like.
It was 98 or 99.
Yeah, sounds about right.
It was $500, and it was for, like, they overcharged on something, and so every person got a $500 check.
Like something like that would even help.
Yeah, they talked about increasing like child tax benefits. So, like, let's say you get $300 or $400 a month, maybe. I have no clue what they were going to increase it by, but I hear a lot of government people saying no one should have to worry. I'm just waiting for the solution.
I got some thoughts on that. I want to piggyback on Donnie's comment about, it's tough for people who live paycheck to paycheck, but I think we all have a social responsibility to be preemptive with our livelihood and taking care of ourselves and having contingencies, no matter how hard it is. A little bit helps all the time. And the situation we see today is just a mass effect of people who haven't necessarily thought about emergency scenarios in their lives. Maybe you're young, you're healthy, there's nothing imminent, and then when something happens, everyone starts to panic. So it's always a good idea, no matter how small, to make a contribution to a contingency fund or buy an extra can of food to set aside when you go grocery shopping, because life can change very quickly. And I don't think it's just our government's responsibility to ensure our well-being and safety when times get tough.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Because times can get tough in a lot of other ways.
Yep.
Yeah.
We can get diagnosed with a sickness that allows us, makes us unable to work.
Yeah. Well, think about when you look at the numbers of who died of the flu last year. And I don't want to do the comparison because I know that people right now are saying the flu is more and whatever. That's whatever.
I have a point on that, which I'll
I bet you it's probably the same one that I'm thinking of. But I never think about it as serious as this. Like, I never, people are always going to work sick. People are always going to sending their kids to school sick because they have no other option. And when we wonder why the flu season, which hit my family really hard this year, and Donnie's, why it gets so bad, it's because this is the first time we've actually stopped and been like, oh crap, we have bad habits.
Yeah.
Really bad habits when it comes to ensuring the health of the people around us.
Yeah, and I am so on the same page with that. So one thing I haven't talked about yet is I've talked a bit about Emerson being sick, and it's something out of the norm. I expect every season, everyone in your family is going to get a bug. You're going to get the flu. I call it the flu. You get a 24-hour bug. Maybe you're vomiting. Maybe you have a cold. And and you're out maybe for the weekend, and that's it. And then you move on. So for me, the flu was not a very serious thing. Hearing about all of this COVID-19 fears and people comparing it to the flu, saying, well, the flu kills more than COVID. I didn't understand the comparison. I was like, oh, well, yeah, I can understand why you wouldn't take the coronavirus very seriously, because if I'm comparing it to the flu, that's not very serious in my eyes. Well, Emerson got really sick and missed a week of school. Then he missed another week of school. Wasn't getting better. I thought it was more of a disease. At that point, I'm getting really scared. Third week, I'm taking him to the hospital. Went to the hospital 4 times within a month. 4th time, I finally got him diagnosed with influenza B. So this is the flu. This is the flu that people are talking about that has killed 100 kids in Canada this year. This is the flu. It's not the flu that I've experienced in the past. It's the influenza B, and there's other strains of it that are even more serious than what Emerson had. But what I've seen is a child that has lost 15% of his body weight, looking at another 2 weeks to even recover, to bounce back. He's been so incredibly sick. I've never seen any of my kids this sick. Very, very scary. Where I had him at the hospital with 105 fever amid this COVID-19 scare. And so we actually got tested for the coronavirus last week. And that opened my eyes to, like, if this is influenza B, so we got the results of they said, you don't have the coronavirus, but he has influenza B, you do not. My mom, because influenza B is actually quite contagious, got influenza B as well and ended up in the hospital with pneumonia. It's incredibly serious, and we should take the flu, the real flu, very seriously. And even our language surrounding the flu and going to work sick and all of that, we need to change our thinking about it, and there needs to be education on what the flu actually is.
Yeah. And
because it's like there's flu shots. There's flu shots for it. And if I had a flu shot, or my kids had a flu shot, they would likely not have gotten that illness.
And I'm very naive to flu shots too. I probably have the same mentality, which is like, oh, it doesn't even protect from all forms of the flu. But Tristan had I'm guessing the same thing that Emerson had. And he was sick, 104. We couldn't get it down for weeks and weeks. Same thing. Couple trips to the hospital.
From Tristan to Emerson.
Well, and here's what I was thinking about the other day too is Tristan got sick, I got sick, my dad got sick, and my dad, who is 69, type 2 diabetic, very at risk for COVID-19. And other flu-like illnesses, which I hadn't thought about, ended up in the hospital with really bad pneumonia, and it was really scary. He's also asthmatic, and it was a perfect storm of terrible illnesses for him. He's recovered now; he's at home, but he had to keep going for 4 weeks after to get IV antibiotics and breathing treatments. And so we've said the whole time, like, I understand the risk that it poses to senior citizens, but I never thought about it as the flu. Like, the flu also can have the exact same effect on people like my dad as COVID-19.
Exactly.
So I wonder if employers are going to have to,
But wait, it's not the same, because if influenza kills 0.1% of its victims.
Yeah.
That's the wrong word. Patients.
Sure.
Whatever we're calling them.
Yeah.
But the stats are less than 1%, substantially less. It's either 0.1 or 0.01, and I don't know what it is. COVID-19 is between 2 and 3%, more averaging at 2.8. So that's significantly more dangerous than the influenza.
Yeah. But when did you see the one, it's on the government side, they broke it up by age. So it's like, if you're between 0 and 9, it's like 0.1, 9 and 16, it's like 0.2. But then when you get up to 70 and 80, it's like 30%, right? And that's where we get the 3.2 number. But when you actually look at the numbers, what's happening to, like, that's why they say Italy is so bad. I read something this morning. And again, I'm not a doctor and I'm not a scientist, so I read it in probably like the journal. But it was saying the reason why Italy's mortality is so high is because they have the oldest population in Italy. Right. And they're overwhelmed. They were saying they're triaging people like they triage a monster accident, like red tag, you're not going to make it.
So Trump made a statement last night, and Ev was reading it to me, so I don't have it in front of me. So take this with a grain of salt. But he basically said what to do if you have symptoms. And he outlined it by age group. And he said if you are a child, like child, make sure you call basically the answer was call your medical provider. Stay home, quarantine, put yourself in self-isolation, and call a medical service provider. And that was for every age group up to elderly. The instructions for elderly and for people who had like immunocompromised systems was to stay home, self-quarantine, and there was not a suggestion to call your medical provider. So what is that statement making about their fears of the whole epidemic right there? Because they're basically saying the same thing that's happening in Italy right now, which they can't help the elderly. They are just making the call in the waiting room that person just gets left. So they're choosing one person's life over another. And obviously statistical analysis in the United States, they have run the numbers and they're already fearful of the same thing. So they're just preparing for that. So at the most basic level of screening, they're not even providing the help.
Well, it's like if I knew that me having the sniffle could give my dad pneumonia, would I go near him? No. But I've never thought about it.
No, I think like people are in like a little bit of a denial right now too. Like last week, Karen and I were talking, her kids were supposed to go see her dad. And I was like, you shouldn't send them. And that was kind of like a breaking point. You're like, really?
This was last week even, but I was like, really? That was Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said, no, I would not be sending your kids to go see your dad.
Yeah. They're supposed to go.
Way too susceptible.
Yeah, I agree. So yes. So we're just having FaceTime chats with my dad, but I want my dad to stay at home. Like I want he should be self-quarantining himself right now, and my mom.
Well, and I think about him and my mom. So likely they've had influenza. Like that was actually diagnosed. My mom's was.
Yeah.
But imagine where her system's at and how hard it's been for her to bounce back from that. If she were to get COVID-19, that would be devastating.
Yeah, it would be harder for her body.
And she's a very healthy person.
I think that's part of the problem. Like our mom, she's 60. But she acts more like she's 50. She looks more like she's 50.
She acts more like she's like 34.
I was going to be like, I think of your mom as like a
too.
peer. Like, I don't think, oh, there's your mom. I'm like, oh, it's Jude.
So
Awesome.
breaking her denial has been hard. Like we had people over, just a couple people over on Saturday. And she's like, I'm going to come by. I'm like, I really don't think you should come by. Like, I think you should stay home. And it's so hard for her because she's such an active grandma that I just don't know if she can actually do it. Stay home.
I feel like the universe regulates itself, and part of me feels like this whole entire thing is just like the universe being like, stop.
Wake up.
Wake up. Look at our environment. Look at your daily life habits. So you're out and about. Why are you out and about? Do you need to be out and about? That meme that's like, this could have been an email. I mean, realistically.
Yeah.
Like, be with your family. This is what matters. And now we're paying some like hard economic prices for all of those bad habits. But if we would have taken this seriously back in January, we wouldn't be in this situation.
I think as well, it's not necessarily a universal balancing thing. It's literally comes down to humanity paying the price for its own bad habits, period. It's our fault. So
did you see that map? They had a map of China before the virus and then during the quarantine, and it was like a map of pollution.
Oh yeah.
And it had cleared so much. It was incredible.
They said the earth
is
healing, and I think maybe that's what needs to happen. If the earth is healing, then that's the silver lining, or starting to heal. Then we can.
But maybe our souls are all healing as well, because I don't think that's living the way we live with our work, and that it's just all consuming and above everything and money above all.
Yeah, if there's a takeaway for me, it's definitely the situation's pulled away the veneer of, social interactions in society as we pretend it is, and expose some hard truths about things for sure, our habits and the denials that we have about our impact on others and our habits. And it's hard to pretend like it doesn't matter or exist when it's staring you in the face. So
it's pretty powerful.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty powerful. I think it's like a time, like what a time to be alive.
I feel like we're in a movie.
100%. And it hasn't even really hit Canada hard yet. Just watching it on TV, thinking, is that real life? Italy being shut down, San Francisco being shut down for 30 days.
Miami
completely.
announced this morning.
Like, it seems so surreal, but it's just like right on the edge of happening to us.
Is it not frustrating for you? Like, you were frustrated last night
I'm
when you phoned me.
frustrated, yeah.
And so we've been having this conversation of how to react. What do we do? I feel like a lot of pressure on that decision. Like, what do I do with my business? Do I shut it down? Do you lay the employees off? Do you pay out of pocket for their wages and send them home? Or allow them to work from home even though revenue essentially stops? It's a really hard situation, and not everybody has the wherewithal for that. And also then there's like a humanitarian part of it. So I feel like we need to do our part, of course, in containing the virus and making sure that we're not spreading it and that we're helping that others don't spread it. So we don't want to be an influence.
We're really lucky, not lucky, but we're structured differently because we're in a standalone building. We're not attached to a mall. So if I understand why mall businesses had to close right away. Right?
Of course.
I completely understand.
If you're at a shopping mall, you should have your head examined right now.
Yeah. Like, it should be shut down. But we're in a little bit of a different scenario. So, yeah, I think with the curbside pickup and launching some sales and that make things affordable, I think we're doing everything we can do.
So let's summarize what we're doing. So first of all, we're implementing right off the bat free shipping over $100 orders, which for us is like that's out of pocket, right? Yeah. But that's something that we can do so that, and we're also implementing a huge blowout sale. Yeah. So there's how many items have been?
Probably have gone through at least like over 100.
Yeah, and I mean things that like bare bottoms, like we've gone through like the last ofs or like things that are still great, but we maybe have like only a couple sizes left.
Yeah, I would definitely take the time to go through our blowout section and just look at your size. There's a lot of products in there because a lot of them only have one small or one medium left. That's why we've marked it down to below cost, some of them. But if you know your size, you can definitely pick up some goodies in there for cheap.
And I mean, people still want comfy things to wear during this
sleep
quarantine.
sale.
The sleep sale.
Yeah.
So good. So I'm like, it wasn't supposed to be the time, but the time is now. People are a little bit strapped, and so let's do this and offer free shipping. And then in addition, instead of coming in store, you can just pick up your order. We'll run it down to you. So curbside pickup.
The Out of Your League set, that is on sale for $29. I wear it all the time.
I've been living in my
I have to wash it. Like, Ryan has to peel it off of me. I'm like a kid. But it's my favorite because it's shorts and I think it looks cute if anyone comes to the door.
Well, that's the thing too. Like, if you're at home all day long, you still want to feel cute.
Yeah.
I know this is the least important thing in our world right now. Yeah. But still, like, it adds to your, like, mental state. Like, I want to still look presentable, but you're hanging around the house and working from home. It's kind of nice to be in some cute loungewear.
I'm not going to lie. I've lived in my out of bounds set for like a week.
But not only that, for us, like, this is a business. And so to keep wages going, you have to keep the supply chain moving.
Yeah.
And so, like, I guess we can ask for support, and they try to do it in a way that people will support us or can support a small local business.
There was, I don't know if you saw them yesterday, but a bunch of local moms or customers, not just of ours or other businesses, posted ways to support a local business. And it was like, comment on their Instagram, like their stuff, share their stuff. Like if you're like, let's all kind of band together. And that's where I think even for us developing relationships with other local boutiques and that we maybe don't know and keeping a heartbeat on what are they doing, right? And let's all make the decisions together that's best for everybody, and also maybe have a community of women that are going through the same thing. What are they doing for their employees?
Well, and even aside from our industry, because it's probably down the totem pole of priorities for a lot of people, and I can't blame them.
Yeah.
But when you're grocery shopping, instead of going to Costco, I went to my local M&M Meats. It was locally owned. It's owned by like a young couple.
Yeah.
I went and supported them because they're probably struggling. I went to Nature's Fair because they're like have 3 locations. They're not a huge conglomerate. and I went and gave them my money. And so, yeah, you're waiting in a lineup to get into like Save On Foods or Costco or Superstore, but maybe go to a smaller grocery chain that might need the business.
Moreno's in Langley is opening an hour early for senior citizens only to shop.
Love that.
That's awesome.
And so is Shoppers Drug Mart. They're doing it as well. But I thought for a local and they're like, come on in. We're stocked with fruits and vegetables, cleaning the store. They also have a liquor store attached. So in case you need both.
Date day with my mom.
Yeah. But they also make the best sandwiches.
They're
Anyways.
so good.
Right?
Oh, they do.
Moreno's.
Yes.
It's next level.
Ugh.
So that's a business. I even said, like, I'm going to leave here and go to Nature's Fair, and then we go to Moreno's. Like, that's how I can do my part when distributing my money back into the community, is to support like Barb that has poured her heart and soul into a business.
I agree.
Another thing we talked about yesterday that we were going to implement is sending birthday presents from online, so we can reroute it to your friend's house, wrap it for you, buy a card. We can write a card in it if you just email us. So even with the social distancing, if you want to send someone a care package or just a small gift for whatever reason, if they're going through something, we're willing to step in and help you get that package to them.
Because birthdays don't stop and Mother's Day doesn't stop and all of these things. And we still will be celebrating each other in different ways. We also just launched the Piper West sale.
Yeah.
Which there's a huge sale section of Piper West with just some colors and styles that we're moving. We're running low on stock, so we're kind of like selling those through. We've got new styles coming in a month or so we're kind of making room in our warehouse. Those have launched today, and they're half price. So that's such a good opportunity to get like a Mother's Day gift or
I was just going to say, that's the perfect birthday gift. It's even the price point. I think it's such a perfect gift.
I live in my Piper West watch. I wear it all the time.
Yeah.
Even if I don't set the time.
Rose gold mesh. That's my go-to.
That's not on sale, Karen.
Don't buy that one. Please edit this out.
We're not editing it.
No, I think like, is that the silver lining too, that maybe we will like, we've been living in globalism for so long and this like huge global trend of everything coming from everywhere else, and maybe we'll get back to a local, like supporting our community in a more nurturing way.
And that's not just good for people, that's good for the environment. If your fruit is coming from, I don't know, China, it's being shipped on boats using fossil fuels across the ocean, being refrigerated artificially.
Yeah.
It's waste.
The carbon footprint's bad.
Yep, exactly.
We should care about that.
We should.
But like sometimes the world just has to stop in order for that, and I think we're there.
Yep.
Well, it's stopping everywhere except for Canada.
I wish they would just completely shut down all of Canada for 3 weeks, nip
Yep.
it in the bud, quarantine everybody.
You really nailed that statement. Good job.
Instead of, like, I see restaurants are shutting down now and quarantining their staff for 2 weeks. Well, once your 2 weeks is over and you come back out, like, this is not stopping the spread of it. We all need to take it seriously. We all need to just stay home, do the bare minimum. But I totally understand, as like small business owners, it's so hard to make that decision until the actual country is making it, right?
Yeah.
Well, because financially they need to know how to move forward.
And when you run a small business, you probably have a little bit more empathy for your staff. You're closer knit with them. And, you know, it's not just...
And with customers, there's like a safety of like, well, no one here has it. It's so easy to say this is a safe place. It feels like a safe place, but we just don't know.
Yeah. And as the employee or one of the employees of your business, for my side of it, I would rather that the employer does what's right for everyone, not just for me, or, you know, don't worry about my finances specifically or anyone else's at the table. It's about looking out for everyone. And with a strong community support, you know, no one's necessarily has to go without. You know, build your connections and look for that support and do the right thing, not just...
You're right, like the right thing for the community.
Exactly.
Because we're all hooped if this gets out of... Like, look at the losses in China. That was right in front of us. It's a global world. We knew exactly what was going on in China, and we sat back and we did nothing. We still had flights coming in from Wuhan. We still had flights coming in from Italy. We had flights coming in from everywhere. We didn't do anything to contain it when we could have. And now we're in a situation where we have to do something drastic.
Yep.
And if the government's taking a long time, then we need to step up and do it for them. So
yeah, exactly.
Tough decisions to make.
Here's the thing too. Yeah. If the government doesn't make the right decision, I would believe that the other businesses would. I believe if you call your car payment provider and say, I want to defer my payment, they're not going to be like, no, you have to, right?
Exactly.
No one wants no one wants that bad press right now. And two, I believe if we're all making the right decision, that other people will follow in suit, right? We're at the basis of our being, we're all humans, right? And we have a deep need to be connected and value other people, regardless of money and power getting in the way. I think at the root of most of us is a willingness to do good.
Exactly.
We were talking before the podcast started about how to live on less too. And I feel like that's going to be the next stage of this whole conversation is, I mean, the markets have dropped hard.
Yeah.
Like we had the
Don't check your stocks.
Well, I did yesterday morning and closed it right back up, closed the computer right back up and was like, I will not check that for a long time.
Yeah.
It was the most devastating day it's never been that bad. I don't think it's ever in history.
Is it 80 years?
80 years.
Well,
Yeah.
they said that on Thursday, and then on Friday they said now this is the worst.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think the drop on Monday brought it to be like the worst week in history.
But just don't look. You can't sell it. You're not going to do anything.
Can't sell it now.
It'll go back up.
Should have sold it.
Just
like
close
2
your
weeks
eyes.
ago. Yeah. It's just
Our friend's a financial advisor, and that's what he said. Just
He's a little bit stressed out right now.
he's super because he's got people that lost $1.4 million in one day.
Yeah. Shout out to all the financial advisors in the
Yeah,
world.
check
It's a
on your
stressful
financial
time.
advisor friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Send them a care package.
Check on your financial advisor friends. Check on your nurse friends.
Check
or
on your person that
doctors.
manages any grocery store.
Your dentist. Dentists are getting hit hard in Canada
They're
right
closing,
now. Too.
yeah.
They're all closed.
Yeah.
But how do we live on less? Like, how do we start? I think for a long time, this is a cumulative thing of people have been living beyond their means for
So
a
much
long
excess.
time.
So much excess.
With so much. And Katie had itchy band noodles for dinner last night and said they were pretty good.
Yeah, Kevin and I shared one pack because we're on rations.
Because you didn't go grocery shopping.
Did you add veggies in it?
No, we literally just ate the itchy band with the noodles.
How
No
much did it
egg.
cost?
no-
$1?
Yeah.
I
Probably
love-
98 cents.
I
And
love ramen noodles with like frozen peas and carrots in it.
the kids weren't home, and that was literally our gourmet dinner.
I made one like a fancied up version of what you were talking about. I used bone broth.
it was really good.
And I put, you can buy these ramen noodles that are made with like millet and brown rice. So they're like not made out of like paper.
Can you send that to me?
Yeah. And then I added broccoli and cauliflower. And so it was like
Yum.
faux.
Yeah.
It was, and I added a bunch of sriracha. So mine was spicy. And the kids just had it as is, but they liked it. They were getting bone broth. So
Yeah.
they're getting protein. And I was trying to get like fluids into Emerson.
It's so good for you.
And it was for them just noodle soup.
Yeah.
Minimal on the broccoli for them. Not very much. But if I would have done peas and carrots, like chopped up, they probably would have had that.
Yeah.
So, Love's Life Hack. That was a good one. We should have a contest on like who can have like the best, most cost-effective, healthy recipe.
I don't know.
I'm
Sharing a
cooking
thing
chili.
of itchy band. Oh, I love chili.
So Ev had a panic. He's like, I've been following the news since China had the outbreak, and I'm kind of a doomsdayer where I'm always like, this needs to correct. This is an unsustainable market. Like things need to like go back to normal. And I always saying that. So the last few weeks, I've been just like doing extra big grocery shops at Costco and going and just making sure I have all my bases covered and my freezer's full and all of that. And Ev was ignoring me. And then he came home on Thursday night and he was like, this is serious. Like all of a sudden he read something that he started taking very seriously. And he was like, looked in our pantry. He's like, you said you stocked up. We have nothing. And I'm like, well, we have a lot actually. We just don't usually eat a lot of pantry food. We usually eat like fresh food. And I got our freezers full. And he goes, we need canned goods. I'm like, we don't really eat.
You know, you could buy carrots and freeze them, right?
100%.
Like it doesn't have to be canned.
You know, you can buy soup in Tetra Packs and not in cans.
Yep.
And he was like, no, we need like canned beans. And I'm like, well, for you, I will do this for you. So I went on Save On, pickup. And I just kind of, because when you sit in front of your computer, you can really like do an agenda of like what you need. And I ordered like Gatorade and Tylenol. And, you know, like I kind of made sure I had like all the bits and pieces.
Yeah.
A ton of like Itchy Band and canned goods and whatever. So that he had peace of mind that the pantry was a panic room, essentially.
I get that. I mean, you all know me as a bit of a germaphobe, so clearly I've been hyper focused on all this. But when I started to prepare, you know, thinking about the community at large as well, we just bought a little extra starting 6 weeks ago than we normally would have and set it aside instead of reacting after the news drops. Exactly. And leaving enough for other people. That's why we take our time to think ahead and prepare and, you know, take a moderate amount instead of clearing out shelves of Lysol and toilet paper. That's also so not necessary.
Selfish. You guys, Ryan went to Save on Foods last night to buy freezer bags so that I could freeze the pack. Like, we bought a pack of chicken breasts from Costco. I need to freeze them. And he sent me photos. There was not one meat anywhere. Like, the chicken feet were gone if they sell chicken feet. Like, everything was gone. The bread was gone. The milk was gone. And I was like, you guys, grocery store chain is not stopping.
No, supply chain is fine.
I stocked up in case one of us gets sick or in case we need to really self-quarantine or someone we know gets sick. Like, that's my reason for stocking up was if I can't leave my house for 2 weeks, or can my kids, is there enough frozen pizza and Ichiban for my kids to eat?
Yeah, like almost the luxury items. Like, my daughter likes this oat milk, so
Yes.
I'd like to have a lot of it.
Yeah.
But it's not like...
We just bought a month's worth of groceries.
How much
all
ketchup did you buy?
3. Kiana dips her raw peppers. Like, I can cut up like a red pepper for her, and she dips it in ketchup like a French fry. And
What was
I
she
don't care.
eating?
Yeah, as she's eating, I would
Salmon.
do the same.
I made dinner for Zydeco and Axel on Saturday. We had salmon, Brussels sprouts, asparagus, potatoes, and she dipped her it was the asparagus and the salmon in the ketchup.
Disgusting.
But she's eating salmon and asparagus.
Totally. And I would be the same way. I would totally.
She can have ranch. I don't care what some people it's ranch. Her thing is ketchup, and I don't care.
Isn't there a movie like that Adam Sandler was in, and the kid is obsessed
Big
with
Daddy?
eating thank you, and he just eats ketchup and eats.
Isn't that the
ketchup.
kid that's on Riverdale now? Cole Sprouse?
Oh, he was a cute kid.
Yeah, or it was his twin brother. One of them was that kid, and he plays Jughead.
Maybe she.
Really?
I'm going to look it up. It's either him or his twin brother. Yeah, Cole and Dylan Sprouse. How do I know this? Obviously, I have no life.
Okay, the funniest part of my save-on story, though, is I didn't realize how big my order was. And then my friend Carson was coming over with her kids for dinner the next night. And I was like, the delivery was late. Save-on was like, we had to cancel. You're so lucky you got your order in because we canceled 72 orders. And you got yours. I'm like, thank you. And I'm like, hey, do you mind like swinging by Save-On and just picking up my delivery? They'll load it in the car for you. It's really not a big thing. And I didn't really quite realize how big it was. And it was 12 bins. And she's like, took a picture. I felt like the biggest asshole in the whole world. I'm like, thank you so much.
Well, you are also feeding how many people in your house? Like grand total, like 7 people?
Yeah, there's 7 people that live in my house.
12 bins doesn't really stretch that
And
far.
I promise you I didn't clear off any shelves. Like, there were a few categories in there.
Exactly.
It was Cole Sprouse from Riverdale.
Really?
Yeah, Jughead played the little boy.
Well, that is a tidbit for everybody.
Yep, just in case nobody knew.
You're welcome.
Don't be a jerk with the coronavirus. And Cole Sprouse was in Big Daddy. Oh, do you know what? Actually, some good announcement. Universal Studios announced yesterday that all the movies that are going to the theaters. Oh, Donnie, remember my genius idea?
Oh my gosh.
They're selling them to Amazon Prime, Netflix, and they're going to be available next week.
Hell yes, they are.
And
Karen thought of this yesterday.
Yeah, they
stole
heard
this
me.
idea
They
right
tapped my phone.
She's like talking to me, and then she's like, I don't know why they don't just pay me for these ideas.
Yeah. And then someone.
So we can watch movie theater movies at home?
Yeah, so they're going to be on multiple different
So
streaming
hold on.
networks.
I've got Cineplex, Netflix, Amazon Prime.
Probably, I'm going to guess they're going to go through Hulu, which we don't have,
I do.
Amazon
I do.
Prime, and Netflix. It's whoever pays the most, right? They're ideally going to go to Netflix and be like, how much are you going to pay us for the movie? And then Netflix will say, blah, blah, blah.
Now watch this catch on, and then Cineplex and everyone else starts freaking out because everyone would rather watch new releases at home on their couch than in their theater.
I mean,
Maybe this is just a shift of times.
Yeah.
Maybe.
What's funny, I was going through, I had to like clear out a bunch of bins that I'd like just had been hoarding onto for the last 10 years. And I was going through them with Riley, and she's like, what is this? I'm like, that's a Rogers video card. She's like, what's Rogers video? I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, tell her how that was like what we did on Friday nights. You go there, you get a bag of chips in the line, you rent a couple movies, you don't return them, you get banned.
Yeah, for sure.
Your mom puts a block on her account of your name.
Look at how much technology has shifted these industries.
Yeah.
You can't. It's like what taxis have done with Uber. You try to resist them, but you can't really resist industry change.
Netflix started as a shipping you CD business.
That's right.
They could have shut down,
And
but
had
they
those
didn't. They
machines at one
adapted.
point, didn't they?
No,
Where
that was Redbox.
Redbox.
But they just Netflix was like, okay, we're streaming now. Everything's streaming. Let's go stream. Netflix has adapted so well to the curve of
They've
technology.
disrupted.
Whoever is in charge of Netflix, you're my boss crush.
I mean, I don't know the financials of Cineplex or a movie theater, but I can't imagine it's thriving.
No. And if you gave me the choice to eat my own snacks and
For
sit on
less
my
than
own couch
$45.
in my lazy day onesie and watch a new release with my partner, I would way rather do that than sit in a theater where people
too.
they like boo or they laugh or they cough or you're just like, ugh, like
There's
Or they
always,
put their
me.
seat-
I'm like on my phone.
Or they bring their
Pisses
baby.
people off.
who
I do
brings
that
a baby
too.
to a movie?
I do.
Oh, well, okay.
Or
I have nothing
there's
to say about this
400 open seats and they sit right in front of you.
Or beside
Dude,
you.
listen, Bob, I had my feet up on the chair and now you have fucked up my entire movie watching existence.
I can't do
I
this
didn't
anymore.
make this episode explicit. You did. That's a first.
You're welcome.
Surely
I
we
think
can-
I'd already
we
done
can add a
it.
beep or something to the
No, please keep the
don't
fucking
know
because
how to do
Bob
that.
really makes. I feel like this is a public service
get an
announcement.
air
Yeah.
horn while we
Yeah.
record.
There
Bob
is.
needs to know.
You can sit somewhere else.
You know what else we need? We need a picture of Axel and Zai in their lazy day onesies eating popcorn and
We
watching.
Yeah,
we
can
were
I have
gonna
that?
do that one day closer to Christmas 2019, and we
Ah.
went to a dinner party at someone's house and got way too drunk. And I'll spare you the details, but Karen was like, "Oh, send me those pictures. I bet they're so cute." And I was like, bleary-eyed, struggling, trying not to puke, walking down to work. And I was
Didn't
like, I was
Axel
like,
fall in a bush?
"Yeah, Axel." He.
It was Fireball.
Yeah.
Oh, Fireball! I miss Fireball.
No, you
So
didn't.
good.
Don't even speak it. I can't. Ugh.
So
Anyway,
on
there
Saturday,
were no pictures.
they
There-
said
there were
no
pictures.
Fireball. And then Axel goes, actually, my throat hurts a little bit. I would like some Fireball. So you had 2 shots Fireball. One when Madeline came, and then one when Axel said his throat hurt.
No, I didn't have that one. I had the one shot in your double shot glass, and that was it for me for the Fireball. Then I snuck outside to your fire pit, and I talked with Tyra and Matt.
And you hid.
Hid, because I knew it was coming. More Fireball.
So we're gonna podcast remotely. This will be our last in-person podcast for a while.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm just kidding. I'm fine.
I feel like we're gonna have a lot though. Like maybe we'll.
I feel like when we podcast, like if we do any evening podcasts and I say some more F-bombs, it's probably because I've been into one of the boxes of wine that I stocked up on.
How many boxes of wine did you stock up on? 4.
Yeah, 2 white and 2 red. And then a bottle of gin and a bottle of vodka. But then I made Ryan go back and get another bottle of gin and soda and 2 24 packs of Michelob Ultra and 2 cases of White Claws, which are gone because people came over on Saturday.
They have White Claws in Canada now.
Oh, yes. So I just went and bought 2 new cases.
Isn't
so
that like
we're
the
pretty
ultimate
stocked.
like basic bitch drink now?
Yeah.
Well, if that's being a basic bitch, count me in because they were
not gonna-
delicious.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
Yes.
lie, I still prefer nudes.
Well, I feel like
They've
nudes is like our they're our boys. Like they're local.
Yeah.
Like
I
we
did
have
buy
to-
nudes as well. But the raspberry, which you can't get here, but the black cherry
So you
White
can't
Claw.
go to the bars, but you could go to Karen's house because she's stocked.
Have you seen Katie's wine cellar?
I mean, I have pizza in my freezer and my wine cellar
I'm
is
posting
full.
a photo of your wine cellar on the podcast because it's so impressive.
So
I'll do
when Kevin
Kevin.
organized it or when I organized
I'll
it?
do both because
Yeah, I was
Kevin.
surprised at that. I
Yeah.
thought you would.
So Kevin comes home from the liquor store, fills up the wine cellar, bought 6 of each kind or whatever, and puts them in all scattered. And I come down and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you're way too OCD for this. Why? He's like, I think it looks good this way. And I was like, I think I'm going to rearrange the whole thing. And I wasn't even like halfway done. He's like, we don't even need to ask which way is better. Okay. I can clearly see the vision now.
But I mean, because in the States, if the grocery stores stay open, people still have access to beverages. But here, our liquor stores would shut down.
Yeah.
There's wine in Superstore.
Okay, yeah, but look at what
And
happened with the
cider.
toilet paper.
Oh yeah.
There's also like wine delivery companies, aren't there?
Yes, and we're going to get a list of those companies.
Like I think the biggest question on our business is will the post office stay open?
someone
Because that would be a
today,
big effect for us.
while
is
we
if
were
that
on this
stopped.
call, I got a message from my girlfriend who works at the post office.
No.
And she said a worker at the Vancouver, Canada post plant just tested positive, so don't expect a lot of mail.
That could be the deciding factor right there for.
I am
Donnie.
officially going to stay home for 2 weeks. So, because that's terrifying. I see them every day.
I mean,
we hug when he comes in. We shake
You
hands.
do
No, we
not.
don't. Stop. I'm just lying.
You do not hug the mailman.
UPS guy might have a crush on me.
we're such lovers in Canada. Like, we hug everybody.
Yes.
The sad part is that will change.
Yeah.
Like, that will not remain.
We're going to get hug bibs that we
And
can
in
dispose
France,
of
they like kiss on
afterwards.
each cheek. Like, that will change.
We need new things. Like instead of hugging, we need a
Like
way
a
to
cool like arm shake dance.
Like,
with, you don't,
with
where you don't
elbows.
touch.
Is that what these kids are maybe starting? Those
Ew,
like
stop.
twitchy moves.
TikTok
you
dance
do?
and stuff.
What if we just like touch
Yeah.
elbows? Like,
Yeah.
Or what if
Is this
we
like
what if
loving
we
you?
don't
Where we
but we, like,
sneeze?
my elbow. No, that doesn't do it for
No,
me.
no, it's
No.
not the same as a good firm
We could touch
handshake.
toes.
Ew.
Take off your shoes and shake feet.
Ew.
Side goes not.
Ew.
I feel like
Now.
it's really personal when you like touch someone's toes.
Yeah, what about like an interview? Like, hey, let me just take my shoes off. Can we lock toes for
Ew,
a minute?
that is the
Ew, and
grossest.
Bob probably doesn't cut his
Ew,
toenails.
Okay,
Sanitize my
that is our cue. We're gonna wrap this up. I think we should continue this conversation. One thing we were talking about was touching base with other local businesses on how it's affecting their business, and we could talk about it that way. Maybe there's one of the cool thoughts I heard yesterday was it the light bulb was invented during the Spanish flu. Like, some of the greatest inventions in history happened
Yeah.
during like quarantines.
Yeah.
And I think it's a time for creativity. So like reinvent the wheel, find a new, a better way to do things. But I think we just more ask for our customers' support during this and understanding.
For sure.
And send us your recipes so that we can get creative with ramen noodles ourselves.
Yes. We should do like
How
our
to
best
live off
quarantine
$5
recipes.
a day.
Yeah. I think we should totally do it.
There was a meme yesterday and it was like, so at what point do we start dressing like these people? And it was like, you know, those like end of world movies where like dressed in all like the battle
hazmat?
gear.
Oh, battle gear.
When do we put this on?
Oh, I feel like I need like 30 more days of keto and then I'll be like really good. in my, like,
I
sheer
put on
Memes
outfit.
are my favorite part about all of this right now.
The memes are hilarious.
Yeah.
I have to say that one Ev posted today is like sports hasn't been on for 2 weeks. I met my wife's boyfriend. He's pretty nice.
Did you see the one about the NFL memes posted with the marbles?
No, we should post.
I'm gonna
in
share
our
it.
Facebook group.
It's literally like sports hasn't been on for 4 days and it's someone releases marbles down this like path. And you're like, I was like cheering for this one marble that was like getting behind and then I'm going to say, you just all need to watch
Should
it.
we give the charcoal mask away to the person that posts the best meme in our Facebook group?
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's get some engagement going, get our community, like, let's rally in a different way, and tell us what you want to hear from us. Because we've got some time to podcast now.
That's all we'll be doing. is
Virtually.
podcasting. Yes.
Remotely, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Bye, guys.
Be safe.
Bye.
Peace out.
Thank you so much for tuning in. If you love PRIV Talks podcast, please rate and review. Then DM us a screenshot of your review with your address to @PRIV Talks podcast so we can send you a free gift. Also, we want to keep the conversation going, so please join us on Instagram and get into our private Facebook group where we can chat and stay connected. Thank you so much. See you next time.